to this shocking story, and I'm sure so many of you have seen this. This is about a 15-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl who've been found guilty of the manslaughter of 80-year-old Bhim Kohli, who was attacked while out walking his dog. Oh. A detective working on the case said the boy had a propensity to violence, who revelled in his reputation as a thug, and that the girl was obsessed with violence. I mean, it is such a tragic story, case, so awful. Our thoughts obviously go out to Mr. Kohli's family. But there seems to be this epidemic, doesn't there, Oti, of violence amongst children, and so young. I mean, it literally makes me so sad. I read this and I go, 14 and 13, like, what is in your head? What has made you think that this is... well, not OK to do, but just why would you even contemplate it?
Yeah, I think it's really difficult as well as a parent to think, how do I stop this from happening to my child, or just having that conversation, because you don't really know what they're up to. And I think as parents, we're trying our hardest. You know, it's already hard enough, life and work and juggling all of that together. And I mean, for me, we had the same thing with my brother who died by suicide. And this happened in South Africa, and my mom, I think to this day, he was 16 when it happened. And to this day, I think my mom blames herself, and it changed our whole life. I think that's why she was so adamant on the whole dancing and making sure that we were focused and we were in the dance studio. We even moved town because she felt like...
Did you think he'd maybe got in with the wrong people?
Yeah.
Or gone down a road that he
because it's a lot with your peers, right? I mean, sometimes they are isolated and they are by themselves, but it's when you find friends that condone bad behaviour, or it's seen as cool, and in a way, I think when we talk about the stories nowadays, that's what kids want to know. I'm going to get a Netflix series about me. I will be on the Daily Mail. You know, they're getting that fame the wrong way. And I think with my brother...
I think social media has a lot to play, a part to play in that as well, doesn't it?
Oh, God, a huge part.
And with my mom, she felt like it was just the area, so we had to move. We moved completely to another area. I think it scared her growing up, the fact that we had friends, and she just thought they would influence us really badly, like my brother, because he was influenced a lot by friends, and it was just really tough. But I feel like she had no way of communicating with him and saying, why? You know, and I feel like even the parents of the two kids, it's having that communication of like, why are you obsessed with violence? Why is this thug reputation
like, Jane,
something?
You know, adolescence that so many of us have watched. It's like the parents saying, oh, well, I thought he was just up in his room. I thought he was safe. And, you know, you don't know what they're looking at, what they're doing.
I mean, that's why they say parenting is so important. You know, whether you're a single parent or whether there's two of you or whatever, is to maintain open communication, know where your child is, know what they're doing, know what they're watching. And I think so many kids now spend their lives in this weird online world, whether it be video... I don't know if you've ever seen these violent video games, but literally people's heads are blown off and then they sort of get back up again. And I think these kids just become desensitised to violence, and they almost think like it's not real, you know, when they do it to somebody in the real world. And, you know, obviously these two have been found guilty of manslaughter because they sort of knocked him to the ground, etc., and he died as a result. But, you know, this lovely man, you know, his family have said he was a devoted partner to my mum for 55 years. He was a loving dad, granddad, brother, uncle, and his life has been sort of snuffed out for
their lives,
you know, and their lives are now over,
probably the family of those two young people who committed the crime. You know. But what about deterrence?
No, I think that's what I was going to say. We're talking a lot at the moment about violence. You know, as you mentioned, adolescence. I saw a play last night at the Royal Court called Manhunt about Raoul Moat. Remember, there was the biggest manhunt about why did he become this violent murderer? Was there things that we could do? And it's very prevalent at the moment. But I think just to take a slightly different angle is about the deterrent. If you are in somewhere like Dubai, now I'm using that as an example of somewhere that has nearly zero crime. I am not condoning many of their punishments, but I'm saying the reason... let's not believe that there are not people who have have violent feelings.
Or that would do something if they
Or
thought
that
they
would
could
do
get away
something
with
that they
it.
thought that could, or
Yeah.
would wear the type of things, the threatening things that are allowed to be worn in this country. But over here, there is no deterrent. There is no punishment. We are becoming a lawless society, and we are creating celebrities out of people like that guy that was going... I don't even want to say his
Robbing
name because it
people.
brings it...
Yeah.
Going into people's houses, robbing them, stealing
filming
their
it,
dog,
so-
going into big department stores, smashing everything up. Yeah. And he was being considered for reality shows instead of being punishment, and becoming a TikTok sensation.
So in a way, the whole of
And
society has
why
to
is there no
take
crime over there?
responsibility for
Because they know what's going to happen to them.
I mean, there are obviously deterrents, but I think that, I mean, I've got them all written here. I'm not going to read them all out because it's, you know, they could face this, they might face that.
But they don't.
But I think people just say, well, we hear that all the time, or
There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do.
A parent can't do it on their own. It has to be, you know, the schools have to be empowered to act when they know things. The police, the justice system have to make
the social media companies have to take a bigger role.
You know, when these kids... I was on a train yesterday and these two young men were walking through the carriage and they were dressed from head to toe in black with balaclavas on, a thing up to here, and all you could see was their eyes, and I nearly had a heart attack. I just looked at them and I thought, they're going to rob me. They actually just kept walking, but... Why are they walking around like that?
But can I just say, as a little end note as well, that we talk about this, but I just think, and I know it's a pipe dream, but wouldn't it be lovely if once a week, even on here, even in the press, we had a little story about the amount of good young people that are out there?
Oh, there's
because
millions.
most young people, boys and girls, would go to help that man.
Yeah.
You know, most young people would do
Good
that.
behaviour.
And I think, as we all say, the problem is two young people help somebody in park is not going to get you to click on, and that's the sad thing.
No, but also
this.
it wouldn't change the fact that these two had violence on their minds.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
just think that for our brains, it would be lovely to read a bit more about the lovely young people out there.
But the problem for society and for that family who've now lost a very, you know, loving father is what is it about, what happened to those two kids that they did that?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
My feeling, and I've said it more than once on here, is that what they're watching on the internet, they're watching violent things, pornography, violence.
And it being celebrated.
And it being celebrated. And they were saying that this young boy revelled in his notoriety as being a thug, as he called it. But terribly, terribly sad for the man's family. And as I said, our condolences go out to Bhim Kohli's family today.